Welcome, welcome, welcome to the dev stream. I have something very fun today for me. Fun for me. I like to make sometimes I like to make Steam capsules. Sometimes it's frustrating, but right now it's fun because I had a new idea. You see our Steam capsule, and by Steam capsule I mean that little thumbnail that's on Steam that shows your game. There's a bunch of different formats of it. There's a big one, there's a little one, there's a skinny one, there's a tall one, there's a wide one. There's a lot of them to do. Anyhow, I've never been particularly smitten with our Steam capsule. It works. It was all right. We finished it and it was like, okay, well, that works. But I've never been particularly, I just never thought it was a really strong capsule. And I don't think Ishi had a strong capsule either. I don't think we've ever really had a really strong capsule. So I'm hoping to upgrade the capsule a little bit. I had this idea. Let me make sure my chats are working. Nazium, hello. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Yes, okay. It seems like the chat is working. Maybe I can see Linus Holmberg. Hello, hello. Finally managed to join the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. I'm glad you finally managed to catch it. Scripted Dollhouse, hello. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so what we had before is this, which is just kind of blue. It's a blue background. It's got some texture and stuff. It works okay. I mean, usually you're going to see it like really small like that, right? Talking about Steam capsules here, folks. And I just thought that adding these trees to the background, and it's not done. I just started dropping these in. And I just thought it adds a little bit more polish and pizzazz to it. And a little bit more setting. It's very subtle, right? It doesn't really read that much differently. But the read of the capsule is not really a problem. I've always just felt like when you inspect it closely, it just doesn't look expensive enough. And I just want it to look really slick. Like looking at Steam, I guess I could probably open Steam. Let me tear off a Steam page here of the website. Good morning, WereDuck. Hello and welcome. All right, I'm glad you like the trees, Nauseum. Okay, here's where your capsules will show up. There'll be all these different formats, right? There's tall ones, there's wide ones, there's big ones, and Steam needs a lot of them. And I don't know, I don't feel like our capsule is quite slick enough. So I just had this idea for the trees and I tried it out and I immediately thought it was promising. I showed it to Jacqueline and she said it looks really good. So that's a good sign. No worries, Nauseum. Okay, so I just want to polish this up a little bit. I think that this works, but you'll notice that where the trees meet the ground, it just looks very underwhelming and bad. So I'm gonna turn off this color layer, which makes the whole thing look a bit nicer, but has like texture and stuff on it. But it's just easier to work without it. So here's our little plant. I'm gonna try just going pure silhouette. So I'm gonna flood fill it and turn off the background. I think, is that gonna work better? Yeah, I think it might actually just be distracting to have. This was like a root I tried to paint. I think it's just gonna be distracting. Let's just flood fill the different plants here. And we'll just call this like dead shrub. And I'm kind of just building this out like I would in the game. And I'm actually using game assets. I didn't draw this stuff. All this stuff Jacqueline drew. I'm just sticking it in and trying to get it to work together. So just a couple dead shrubs. I don't know if it's worth it to go and try to bring another dead shrub in. There's a bunch of different variants and stuff, but I think maybe we can get away with just using the same one. In this illustration, it's going to be so small. We want to just maybe have a couple different values. Almost too detailed. I wonder if it would work better if it was a little bit stripped back. Anyway, just trying to cover up that tree line. We also have some bushes Well, we have like a million different bushes in the game. I'm gonna go with like, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna try to track down this once Unity stops being all locked up. Nazim says, if you want notes, the bottom right does draw a bit of attention to itself. The bottom right corner, like over here, like this little potion thing. I was thinking of maybe putting some foreground elements to sort of cover it up a little bit, but that's a good note. Ryan JQ, hello and welcome. Another late night. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Love the font. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, it's like we started with a font and then we just went in and kind of flourished up added little twigs and things to it. Glad you dig the drawings, Ryan JQ. Where Duck says, what is your game going to be about? The game is called Songs of Glimmerwick. It is a open world Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. So instead of casting spells, you play songs which make magic and do various things in the world. There's a bit of a farming loop in it. There's also a bit of life sim. But most of all, it's just an open world adventure game with a lot of great quests. If you want to check out the Steam page, it's probably does a better job of describing itself than I can. You can check out. You can give it a little peek there. Bottom left, okay. I'm thinking the bottom left because it's so dark. It's very dark. Things tend to attract. You know, it's very contrasty. So I'm hoping that once we layer this entire ground with different stuff, it won't pop out so much. Ryan JQ says, what is the longest you have worked in one session of game development? I have no idea. I have no idea. And if I go eat something, does that count as one session? I'm not sure. But I've never gone like too long without eating. So if eating is permitted, then yeah, probably 17 hours or something. I mean, just, you know, every waking hour you wake up, you start working. I can't do that anymore. I didn't do that very often back when we were working on Eastshade. Okay, so got these shrubs. I just wanted to go into Unity and get this bush. So let me fly over to the entrance of the school here. Whoa, there it is. The world is very sprawling, as you can see. Very sprawling indeed. And I just wanted maybe this bush right here. This is the culprit. I thought that this would be a nice, simple tea house shrubs. Let's grab that. So I'm going to open the tea house PSD texture, and I'm going to yoink some lovely little shrubs. They're just kind of, you know, they're not too detailed. And I'm going to turn this off. Folks need to cough. I would get a headache after a while. Yeah, I have pretty good computer stamina. 20-hour sessions, that's crazy. I've never worked for 20 hours. Turn off some of these layers. We've got some of these texture layers and stuff. I just want to select this freaking bush. I'm just going to start deleting everything I find. Every time I select, I have something, I'm going to delete it. I don't know why I'm selecting things I can't see. Just keep deleting. Just delete this and this. Still can't get the bush, delete that and that and that. Still can't get the bush, delete that and that. Let's do. Oh, auto select maybe? Yeah, that was the problem. I'm an idiot. I didn't have the auto select on. Okay, so there's a couple weird little green things back there. I don't know exactly what those are. I'm going to assume I don't need them. I'm going to grab both shrubs and bring them into our capsule file here. Go. Okay, they're in. Oh, so they just have some flowers. We'll go ahead and close the pond weeds. We don't need those anymore. We've already put them into our file. I don't think we need anything else from here. Maybe some of those shrubs or something, but all right. We'll grab these two shrubs as well. What are you? You're shrub 2 and shrub 1. Let's put those in as well. Just want to make sure we have everything we need. Okay, now I'm going to exit out of this and not save it because we destroyed a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we definitely don't want these flowers in there. So we've got all these shrubs, and I'm just going to go through and get rid with a heavy opacity. So there's some kind of color adjustment happening on top of everything. Here we go. I can just get rid of this layer, and I think that's going to help us out a lot. And there's, here we go. Another fadey layer. I'll put that above the background layer. I'm going to give this a save. Perfect. Now we can really start getting rid of these little yellow flowers, preparing this thing for being used here. This is a pretty, the shrub has a fairly simple silhouette, and I think that's going to work really well. Because we don't want to get too complicated here, right? We don't want to pull focus away from our little character. We certainly don't want to pull focus away from the text, which is kind of the star of the show for these capsules, right? So just got to get rid of all these flowers. I really don't have to do such a careful job, but I don't know, it just feels bad to cover up some of these nice details. I suspect I might even completely remove all the details and just make it a silhouette, but we'll see. So that's one bush. Moving on, next bush. Come on, let's go, go, go. Let's get rid of all these flowers. Definitely don't want flowers in this sort of spooky dark forest thing. And let's get rid of, finally, these blue flowers. Get rid of that little bit of blue there. And maybe just select that. There we go. Okay. In fact, I think we can maybe even just delete or erase some of that silhouette there of the flower. Okay, we got our shrubs. We got our shrubs. Let's go. Let's color match them for one. I just want them to sit here in the background. I'm going to add that blue tone. And most importantly, you know, their values, they have a lot of contrast. So we're just going to absolutely obliterate the contrast in them and make sure that the tone matches. Something like that. We might put a little bit more green in them. Yeah, there we go. Better match. Yeah, they're basically sort of desaturated. And I don't want them to be too big because I really don't want them to distract too much from that. From the trunks, which I think should be the star. And I'm thinking it still just has too much contrast. I'm going to knock out a bunch more. Unfortunately, when I knock out contrast, it also knocks out saturation. So I just need to pump that saturation back in. Something like that. And I think the value of the bush should be a little bit darker, just a tiny bit darker. So I'm going to bring some of that bottom end back. Okay. Maybe that works. I don't know. Let's do the other ones now. Okay. So first step, just nuke the contrast, completely destroy it. Don't want this to distract. And then I'll add that blue tone in. That looks pretty good. And maybe a little bit less saturation there. Okay. One more shrub. I'll just completely take out the color. Kill the contrast. Add our blue tone. Take out some saturation. We make it a touch lighter. Okay, we probably don't need so many bushes here, but it's okay. Hopefully we're only going to do this once. I mean, once the capsule's done, it's done, right? It's going to be our capsule for probably years. It's a very important piece of art. Probably one of your most important pieces of marketing art. Maybe your most important. Yeah, I can't think of anything more important. Maybe your trailer, but that's like not really one piece of art. That's like 1,000 pieces of art, right? Because you got all the shots from your game. Here, catch up here. Alson, hello and welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Great to see you. Is there a plan? So first we're doing this capsule. I had an idea to improve our capsule. The capsule is the little thumbnail on Steam. So I had just an idea to make a sort of more illustrated background using a bunch of Jacqueline's illustrations from the game. And then hopefully we're going to move on to bugs and polish items. But that might be in a long time. All right, rock on, Nasiam. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you have a good chat with your client. Black Thistle. Okay, here we go. So the job here is just to cover up the tree line with these bushes. They're way too big. I'm gonna shrink them down here. Just a very ugly transition. And I just want that transition to be a little bit gentler. I want this shrub to actually be in front of that other shrub in terms of depth. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. There we go. Okay. I think it'd probably be good if these shrubs had a more, I don't know, transitional value. Here's all the shrubs. Here's some of these dead shrubs here. Add another one over here. Oh, that one, I think the one over here should be a little bit darker. And it looks like it could tolerate, honestly, some of the contrast can come back. And it looks like it's a little bit not enough in the green direction. Add a little bit more green in there. That looks actually nice. I like the way that it completely sits in there now. I'm wondering if I could make the other one do that. Add a little, there we go. Ah, sorry. Okay, that's a little bit better. I might even take all the shrubs down a little bit, like all the layers. I just want to create a better silhouette edge. I'm gonna take the, where is our tree? There we go. I'll take our actual trees. I'll call this the tree line. Let me catch up with chat. Ryan JQ asks, which do you think will come first, Baby 2 or Songs of Glimmerwick? Well, I cannot answer that. I know the answer to that question. I actually know when Songs of Glimmerwick is going to release. But I can't say it yet. But we will. We will tell everyone soon enough. But I can't tell you that because if I tell you that, you know, if I tell you the game is coming first, then everybody knows that the game is coming within 9 months, right? Because that's, we don't, I have not said how far Jacqueline is along, but, you know, it's a very tricky question there, Ryan JQ. I see what you're trying to do, but I'm not going to answer that. Linus Holmberg says, if I were you, I would add some discrete musical notes coming from the instrument to reinforce the music focus even more and make it obvious for us lazy gamers with a short attention span. We do have some musical notes actually in the other key art. Here we go. Got some musical notes coming out. But the capsules are very small. It's pretty hard to see stuff. Let me cough here. Alcend says, would you guys consider releasing any Songs of Glimmerwick wallpapers? That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know if it's the most highest priority for us at the moment. Thanks, Alcend, thanks. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I just wanted to add like a little bit of a transition between these two sides. So I'm gonna grab a pixel that's kind of in the middle, and I'm gonna set my opacity kind of low here. And I'm gonna just paint a little bit. There we go. That really makes a big difference. Makes a huge difference. I'll grab one even closer to the value of the trees. This is great. That made a huge difference. That actually, to my mind, that was more important than the shrubs even. I'm gonna try to make a little bit rootier. I would love to increase my opacity and just try to sell a slightly rootier look. So just kind of painting back here. I don't normally like paint, and I'm doing this with a mouse, but this is pretty easy here. There we go. Now that it looks so much softer, and it's just taking a lot of attention away from that disgusting transition. I'm gonna try to create the illusion of some ground here by just adding some paint strokes. A couple paint strokes. I'll reduce the opacity, and I'm gonna create kind of like a little, like almost path leading back here, just into the shrub, something to kind of lead the eye around. And just make this not like an empty place. Look at that. That's huge. That makes a huge difference. I'm gonna grab this shrub right here. Or it's not a shrub, it's like a dead thing. I'm gonna just darken it a little bit. Darken, darken, darken. I don't want to draw too much attention to it. Do I hate it? Should I just remove it? No, actually I like it. It's good. Oops. I'm gonna I don't like whatever's going on right here. I'm just gonna try to take attention away from that. Okay, I like it. These are pretty good. I like how, like, you know, if I can actually make them exactly the value of the ground or really close, I think they'll look even better. Like they're just softly, yeah, like the ground's coming up, like the ground is made out of this stuff. I like that a lot. Oh yeah, now we're cooking. We're getting somewhere here. Here's dead shrub copy. I like that one. That's really good right there. I'm gonna grab the entire dead shrub predicament and I'm gonna move it over. Oops. There's a shrub. Where's all of our dead shrubs? Here's all of our dead shrubs. I'm gonna grab all the dead shrubs and try to get them together. So, oh, that one actually does have to be in front. Okay, that's okay. We'll just We'll just grab them one at a time. Cool, cool, cool. Oops. Awesome. Okay, that one's great. I think we can darken it a little bit. Oh yeah, so subtle, so subtle. Awesome. Oh, I think this is turning out good. I should do maybe another layer of shrubs. So I'll just grab, actually, that shrub is pretty dominant right now. I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to set it pretty far ahead in the order here. Behind our foreground elements. And it has to be darker and more contrasty. Actually, if I grab a brush and I set the opacity super low, I've got an eraser here. Oh yeah, I can get this shrub to really sit on the ground in a very nice way by just erasing some parts out. Oh yeah, that's something you can't do in the engine. Look at that. That is great. Now I could like take that, and now this shrub just kind of looks like part of the ground. Oh, that's cool. Oops. Could maybe even make it a little bit lighter so it fits in a little bit better. Flip the width here. Change the angle a little bit so it looks, you know, more like part of the ground. Yes. Heck yeah. Okay, now I can take some of the dead shrubs, maybe like this one, Control J it, and put it pretty far in the front of our bush. And I'll just make it a little bit darker, just to give that sort of silhouette detail. And again, do that same trick where I just sort of erase the bottom. Oh, come on, stop. Get this little annoying thing away. I'm not trying to click on you. I'm trying to do artwork. Have you ever heard of art? Photoshop? I'm trying to make art. Can you go away? I'm trying to make art. Okay, there we go. Still in my way. It's still in my way, and it's driving me bananas. I can't change the size of my brush anymore. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Yeah, I can't. My bracket keys don't work. Thanks a lot, Photoshop. Okay, there we go. Now I have a shrub. Oh, actually none of my hotkeys are working. I'm gonna give this a save. I think Photoshop is losing itself here. I guess I have to exit out. Which is obnoxious to no end. Photoshop is a very buggy program for me. For a program that's been around for like 75,000 millennium. Not a lot of issues. The Were Duck asks, sorry folks, got a cough. Are you looking for testers? We were looking for testers, but our playtest is it's kind of midway right now. We've got quite a few people testing the game, but I'll put the application form in there. Let me do. I'll drop it in the chat. If anyone wants to apply, then at least your application will be in case we need more testers. We might. I've been considering adding a few more, maybe like another 5 more or something. We're trying to take it easy. We don't want to do too many people at once because we'll just get so much. We'll just get so much feedback and so many bug reports and stuff that we'll be a little bit overwhelmed. But I will put the application form in there if anyone wants to apply. Where Duck says, I'm a full-time QA. All right, rock on. Yeah, right now we're not looking, and I say this in the, once people get past the application, I always say that we're not scrubbing right now. We're not scrubbing for bugs. Like, we don't want people to like, okay, I'll test the game, and then they, you know, go in and push their avatar against every single collision boundary looking for cracks and stuff. Because it's just like the game is a little bit too raw right now for that. And we're kind of focusing on really like more like the design stuff and the usability stuff and making sure we're kind of on the right track before we go and like polish every nook and cranny. And then of course also really big bugs that you encounter just playing normally, not necessarily bugs that you encounter if you try the weirdest stuff imaginable, which I find that it seems like many testers are sort of conditioned to like, oh, try to break the game at all times. And we're just we just want people to play normally, like a normal player. And if you run into something, then you report that. Rock on, Were Duck. Yeah, I've been considering adding a few more testers. So if you're interested, you know, of course we're always very appreciative to anyone who applies, and then of course appreciative once we do send out a key. Anyone who gives feedback. The speedrunners are gonna need a bone, right? Yeah. Where Duck says, when you'd say to check all the flags, triggers, and whatnot, then that's a focus point. Oh, gotcha. Nice. Yeah, you probably know more about game testing than I do, honestly. Destructive. Okay, so is that what testers use to like, okay, try to really break it? Like, let's put it through the ringer. And I assume white box testing would just be like, we want you to actually get through it, see if you can get through it and see what you find. I like being armed with these terms. If that's actually what they mean. All right, so now my hotkeys are working again. And I'm just gonna try to fill that ground out a little bit. Maybe I'll put one more back here. Awesome. Maybe I'll try making it a little lighter. Something like that. We don't want to draw too much attention to it. Wicked. Okay, that is a lot better. Just starting to get pleased with that. I feel like probably this tree right here maybe could be darkened, because I do think that it's distracting a little bit from the text. So I'm just going to try to darken these two like really bright trees. Couple values. And then this one over here on the edge, that can be darkened a little bit as well. Oh, I would really prefer the whole tree. I don't want like a partial. Let's darken that a little bit. Murdoch says, like if there is a bug with enemy AI that loses aggro and it roots from the constraint of the enemy being non-moving, and possible fixes make enemy change its location. Add ranged attack. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I see. Okay, so what I'd love to add now are some mushrooms. I'm gonna go around, looking around the game for the perfect mushrooms. I know there's a bunch in the dark forest, so let's just go to the dark forest. So we've got these sort of simple mushrooms, but then we also have these sort of wacky ones, which are really fun over here, that almost have little eyes. I like these a lot. Corrupt mushroom. Got a couple different corrupt mushroom. Let's grab this corrupt mushroom. I love it. Awesome. I'm gonna merge all these layers. Merge. Okay, whatever. Merge down. Yeah, merge down. And then I'm going to copy it into our... Oh, this is not good. I don't like that line right there. I think I did something bad by making the adjustment. Not super noticeable, but I don't love it either. Might have to take a look at that. Anyhow, these mushrooms should be pretty high in the order here. And then, yeah, we'll get them actually all the way. Might even be the top. I'll use the little eraser trick to make the stem blend in a little bit better. We'll see, like, you can't see the ground. And then, of course, we will slurp a little of that contrast out. I'm not going to take all of the contrast out like I did for the other ones. These are actually, the color value is actually pretty close. Just going to move it in the blue direction, take a little bit of saturation out. A little more saturation out. Add a little bit more blue. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's cool. Now this, we don't want them to be too powerful here. Let's add our arts. Okay, so there is a limit. We can't, I don't think we can add them in front of her. So we're gonna have to kind of figure this out here where we want these things. Come on, where are our mushrooms? Let's turn off our art. And we could put them like maybe right here or something. Maybe like right here, I don't know. The text is probably going to cover them, but if they're right there, they definitely have to be faded more. I think they might be distracting. They're just too weird and contrasty, but anyhow, let's see how that looks. It's a little busy. It's a little busy with the mushrooms. So I like how they look though. Let's see if we can find a spot for them. Oh, maybe right there. Maybe just right there. I should probably go with simpler mushrooms. Oh, I love how these ones look. Goes a little bit more out of the way. Let me try flipping them horizontally. This is really fun. Like making a... Oops. It's like one of those softwares that has a bunch of images that you collage together to create your own image. Well, that is pretty neat. It looks illustrated. It looks like it was all drawn as one thing. Let me remove a bunch of stuff. This one bush is just too big. I'm going to scale it down. It's just kind of stealing the show a little bit. There, I think that'll be better. All right. There's a bit of contrast right here from that bush. So let's figure out what bush that is. Move that in. I'm going to sort of tilt it away from the trunk, and I'm just going to sort of remove, reduce the opacity a little bit. There we go. Now it's less distracting. Now this smoke that our avatar is producing here, I would like that now to be higher contrast. Now that we have more contrast in the background, I'm just going to check out that smoke and make sure that we can actually see it. See what layer the smoke is on. Emblem, title, sparkles. So here's some particles. Seems like they're already quite opaque. I'll I'll make them a little brighter. There we go. I just doubled their layer. So now I have the ability to make them a little bit brighter. Here's a little bit of smoke here. That's at 20%. We have a higher contrast background, so let's go 30%. And here's a lot more smoke in the back. That's at 17%. Let's go 25%. Old tendrils. Okay, so this is an entire group. Oh, okay. That is not even showing though, so we don't have to worry about that. All right. That's so much cooler. It's so much cooler. I don't know if I should put some foreground elements right there or if that's just going to be more distracting than it's worth. It might help to ground her in the environment, but everything in the environment is already so much more faded than she is. Might just not make sense to do that. Let's see if I can, so this already is this little gradient. So it's supposed to be fitting her into the environment. Let me make another one. Actually, this already has, it's not powerful enough. Let me just make another one. You know what? I'm just gonna delete this and I'm just gonna create a radial gradient. And I'm gonna just create it, so turn off the color layer. I'm gonna create it like, just coming from like right here. Coming from her base all the way above her hat. I'll make another one for the frog. Get that frog to feel like more like part of the environment. Okay. Get one coming from the edge. Just really make her feel like she's part of the environment. And now I will copy our layer. Now we can sort of reduce the opacity of it. Maybe make it a little darker. Let's get a big soft brush. And just try to get it to sit a little bit better. I think that's better. Doesn't have to be quite so extreme. Yeah, it makes the whole thing, she just looks more like she's sitting in the environment now. Catch up with chat. Rumblebeard, hello. Made 3 more segments of my eShade playthrough. All right. Okay, I'm glad you're having fun. Very glad you're having fun. Cool. Well, I think that that is way better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stuff in the bottom left corner and I'm going to make a group out of it. I don't actually know what all is in the bottom left corner. Not easy to find right now. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put it way at the top here. And we'll just go like foreground, corner. I literally can't see what's going on right here, so I guess that's just an empty layer. I'll remove it. I'll call this a cactus. It's obviously not a cactus, but kind of looks like one. We've got 2 dead shrubs. All these dead shrubs should go lower, I think. Yeah, that had no effect. And then super bush. I'll just call it super bush just so it don't confuse it with the other things. What is this? I'll call this cactus as well. Let's put our cactuses and our super bush in the foreground corner. There's the whole foreground element. And now I'm just gonna copy the entire foreground element, turn off auto select and move it over to this side. And just gonna put it like kind of like that. And I'm going to move it above our artwork here. And then, yeah, I mean, it helps ground her in the environment, that's for sure. But it also covers up some of our goodies. Make another one like kind of here. Yeah, I don't really know what the right answer is. I don't want to cover up too much of these goodies, but maybe we don't need the goodies. Maybe it's more important just to have our avatar. Maybe the goodies are not helping. Can't tell. It's a hard call. It seems like we should have the frog, right? Who doesn't like a frog? If we did have shrubs here, then I guess they should be lower contrast. I can't tell. I really can't tell. Well, at the very least, I don't like these particular foreground elements. If we do anything, I'd much rather have maybe a different kind of shrub. Like just something a bit simpler. I guess like something like the original shrubs I brought in. I already scaled them down because I'm an idiot. But let's see if I can just find another shrub to keep it simple. Yeah, I want those tea house shrubs back again. Maybe a fern. No. Keep it simple. Tea house. Or actually, maybe Cumulo entry bushes. Let's grab one of these. Let's merge it all together. And I'll stick it into our concept. I'm going to put it right where we need it. And I don't know which one I want. Oops. Yeah. Definitely want one that's kind of low key. Not too complicated. Yeah. It's distracting if we make it too complicated. Maybe we want one more at the bottom there. I'm just looking at this bottom one. I'm going to remove everything else. Okay. And of this one, I'm just going to grab this one in the corner and remove everything else. Okay. Now I'll try to... That one's not doing us any favors. I don't like it. This one is maybe working, but I doubt it. Reduce a lot of the saturation and then add some of our blue. It's got heavy foreground elements, so it just needs to be dark. This is so hard. I don't think I should cover up that potion. I don't know if I should cover anything. Oh my goodness. Hey, True Haddock. Welcome. Simple as more, yeah. I'm team goodies. Okay. Well, I'll send... I'm pretty sure you're our target audience. Like, if you like it, then I think that's probably a good sign. So, the goodies stay. I mean, they're musical goodies, most of them anyway, like this. Okay, one of them. There's 3 goodies. There's a bone marimba, a potion, and a frog. Well, the frog makes a whole lot of sense for various reasons. The potion, yeah, I guess it seems like we should keep them all. Okay, let's stop trying to add foreground elements. Then the only thing I'll do is I'll go into our little layer here. Oh no, is this not? Oh no, it's affecting. Okay, here we go. And what I can do is just sort of try to get this potion to sit a little bit more. Seeing as it's like right in the corner there. There we go. Now it doesn't quite draw so much attention. I hate this thing so much. I can't. I wish I could move it. I can move it. I just need to not be stupid. There we go. Now I'm just sort of pushing all of those elements so they're not too distracting. Oh, the sickening part is we have to do this all again. Okay, now, because we have another one in a different format. Oh my God, I can't even. We'll get there, we'll get there. Let's just do one at a time. Let me take a look at our font. And I'm gonna do this where I just grab a color back here. I get myself a brush. And I'm gonna try just painting out everything behind where font is, just in case that makes it way easier to read. It does. It covers up all the cool stuff we just did, but I definitely need those little cactus things to not be so prominent. I'm gonna knock them back a little. They're just a little distracting. And then I'll call this the title backer. And now we can sort of reduce to sort of bring back some of our artwork. But you can see it just makes it a little bit more readable. I might erase some of it in the parts that I really like these little mushrooms and stuff and all this cool stuff we did on the ground. I don't think it's particularly hard to read right there anyway. I mean, it's doing pretty close to nothing. I might as well not even have it. I don't know. Okay, that's a lot better. I'm gonna give it a save. I'm gonna open up the old one. So looking at our old one, go into the folder here. Store capsule header, I think it is. So it really reads so similar, but if you take a closer look, it just looks a lot fancier, I guess. Did I say it reads better? I meant it really reads the same is what I meant, not better. Seems like the new one or the old one has like a brighter glow happening. I guess that's just because it's a more basic background. You can like see it a lot more. Wonder if I brighten up this backdrop. Interesting. That's interesting. Trying to figure out if it looks more slick if I sort of brighten up that background there. Let me sort of cut away into some of the parts that we don't need. Kind of like the more organic looking glow that it adds when I brighten it up. Makes it look a little bit more magical. Okay. I'm gonna compare them. The new one is kind of more muted in a way, especially because we did all that work trying to get her to sit in the environment. But it's more expensive when you zoom up on it. It's just more slick looking. Definitely can't see all those elements as easily. Maybe I should turn that down a little bit. Call this like the blender. And don't cover the cute potion, says True Haddock. All right. Chimera says, before they were pulling my eyes, now it's less pronounced, so much better. Okay, good. True Haddock says, question, will the game be playable on PC only, or are you considering other platforms? We are definitely, it's likely that we're going to ship on other platforms. We just don't know exactly which one. Between you and me and everyone else watching, the stream right now. I think it's very unlikely we're going to ship on the Sony platforms. Probably our most likely platform would be Xbox, just because we already have the partner account and we already know how to do that. And then the next most likely would be Switch. But I think we're going to go pretty hard for Switch, because I just think the game makes sense on that platform. I think it's the right kind of game. What about the transparent white fog behind to further make the title 3D-esque? I think that's kind of what we did with that last little adjustment. Let me turn down this just a little bit, just a tiny bit. So now you can still see them. Okay. Okay, next, because we have so many different capsules to do. I just want to make sure that we've got the right size here, because this is 1840. And then I'm going to look at our Steamworks stuff. I've got it on my other monitor. Over here, I'm just looking at all the sizes. Gotta browse my way. Do edit store page, or just don't do it on my main monitor just because it's a security. Liability. Graphical assets. Here we go, store assets. So bringing up the page, they have new dimensions for everything. So the header capsule, which is what I'm working on now, I think. Yeah, the header is 920 by 430. So let's go image size. We definitely have lots there. Perfect. Excellent. Yes. That's funny that you mentioned that, Chimera, right at the moment that I was doing it. I swear I didn't look at the chat. We just had the same idea. Great minds, great minds. Right, I want to get that page back up. Okay, so we've got the header capsule, then there's the small capsule. I'll worry about that later. Then there's the main capsule, which needs 1232. Okay, cool. So we should have enough for that. Let's open up the main capsule and see how effed we are here. Store capsule main. There we go. Okay, so here is the main store capsule. And let's see how easy it is going to be to port our changes over. So there's the old one. It's funny because it really was a lot of work, and it does not make that big of a difference. Like, it really reads the same. Interesting. But I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's more expensive. I think I'll truly feel happy with our capsule. I just felt like our capsule just was not quite there. It needed that final 10%. And I like the illustrated background because it just makes the game feel like it's going to be richer when the capsule is richer. I don't know, because the game is very, very, very detailed. There's nothing minimalist about Songs of Glimmerwick. It's incredibly rich and expensive. Like, the game is just very, at least that's what I like to believe. I like to believe that the game is just high production budget feeling, and I want the capsule to represent that. So I'm trying to think of the best way to get all of our changes in. So this will definitely go away. We do not need that anymore. I'll be happy to be rid of that. I guess I'm going to start just by, I think we'll remove these little musical notes as well. There they are. Let me do auto select to see if I can get them. Okay. I'm gonna go to the top, remove the color layer, and grab here musical top. And then let's get the musical notes bottom. Let's remove that. Okay. See if we can get all our goodies in there. Then says, I like that it retained that storybook feel. Good, good, good. Okay, here we go. So let's bring in all the elements, all the new elements we have, the background and everything, into our main capsule. There's no way. Right, we downsampled it. We downsampled it. Undo. Oh, I did work on it after downsampling it. Is that... What's going on here? I'm scared. Image size 1840. The capsule main is 3850. No way. Really? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, let me just redo. I'll give it a save. I'm so bummed about that because everything is the wrong resolution. Not good. Not good. It's not good at all. We really should have done all that work. In the main capsule. I'm not going to redo it. Okay, first let's just see where we're at. So I cannot believe it. This is not the most important capsule. This header is. It's the most common one you see. But still, I feel like an idiot. I should have done all that work in the higher resolution one. Let's go, first of all, 3850. And just try, oh my gosh. I wonder if there's some kind of AI upsampler. One of the neural networks. Because those are really good. The AI upsamplers are so freaking good for, well, they're good for a lot of things, but for like stylized, painted, cartoony stuff, oh man, because there's not like, you know, the lines are so clean, the AI just upscales them perfect. Anyhow, wishful thinking here, but the filter, I don't know why all the filters are, okay, there we go. Neural filters. So we're really, it only wants us to do it to one layer. Photo restoration. Of course, Photoshop would never give me like a useful one for me. I feel like nothing Photoshop ever makes is for me. I'm just like a weird video game artist. It might be in the photo restoration. No. No, it's not going to work. It's so annoying. Can't believe I did that. I'm really stupid. I'm really, really stupid. All right, well, anyhow, let's go to 3850. Let it do its thing. It's probably going to take a second here. It's a lot of pixels. Oh my God. It's going to take a really long time. Wow, that bar is hardly moving. That's crazy. Oh, okay, there it goes. Whew. I'm glad that wasn't an honest bar because that would have taken forever. Okay, now let's take all that stuff and put it into our main capsule. Oh my God, everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. We are going to have so much more space though. Well, I guess I'll just figure out here. If I move everything, there we go. So that's kind of where we had it. We have a lot more space down at the bottom. I guess it really is going to take like redoing it all. Man, crazy. Well, we can just kind of do one thing at a time. So here's the trees. I definitely have access to the source on that. So let's go force center tree line. Here's merge all these together. And paste it in there. Wow, it's that big. Well, there's going to be a little upsample going on here. That's nuts. I can't believe it's that big. Okay. I'm just going to redo the trees. I knew that this was going to be a lot of work. Oh, it's actually pretty similar. So I'll just add a little bit of that blue. Easy. And then just clamp down a little on that top end. Okay, I think I pretty much delete the old one now. Or at least just merge it down. There we go. Okay, getting started here. Wow. All right. That wasn't too bad. Let's make sure that this is actually lined up because I'm gonna need to be taller here. That's just a gradient, so that's easy. That's fine. This one's good to go. And then got a lot of cool details here that need to be extended. I'm gonna figure out what that line is. I'm just gonna deactivate all that stuff. Okay, so it's something beneath all that. Just keep disabling stuff until I find the layer creating that line. Oh, it's actually under here. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. So let's just get a little bit more opacity, and I'm gonna get a hard brush, 100%. I'm just gonna paint. Make sure that there's no like adjustment layers on top. Just gonna paint to sort of finish that off. It's taking forever. I don't know why. Yeah, I seem to, there's definitely something going on there. Not the tree line. Oh, right. Okay, it's this title backer layer. So let me just erase the bottom there. There we go. And just making sure that it doesn't have any on the side either. Get back to our hard brush and making sure that it goes all the way to the edge. And now I'll take the opacity down a bit and just make sure we've got some round details over here. Oops. Okay. And now I'll turn on all the other stuff. All right. And let's see what we can do. So the foreground element, we just bring it down. That's it. Hopefully. Bring it all the way down here. We've got those mushrooms. Bring those puppies down. Now this bush. Got a bush right here. Go into auto select. Bring that bush down. Maybe we can make another one. Oops. Let me turn off the art. It's getting in our way. Got another bush here. Oops. I'm pressing all kinds of keys. I got no idea what I'm doing. Okay, just sort of filling in the right side there. Let's make another bush right here. Something like that. And then I think maybe we can take some of these dead shrubs like this one. Got to get this out of the way. Yeah. Like maybe this dead shrub. Let's copy it and move it down. Just maybe try to give a little bit more detail down here. I will sort of like fade the bottom where it meets the ground. Okay. And then just make it a little darker since it's going to be more of a foreground element. We'll get another dead shrub from somewhere. Wow, I can't even see that one. Oh. How about you? Copy you. Put you higher up in the draw order here. Make it darker. And same trick. Fade the ground a little bit. Yeah, you know, it seemed to up-res fairly nicely. I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna paint that out. This is all really rough. Not that it matters, it should all be mostly covered, but just in case it's not, I'm gonna paint a little bit more detail in there. Just some paint strokes and stuff. There's this kind of line right here. Make sure to paint that out. Okay. All right. So now that we've got a background, I will take the tree line. Whoa. This one? Oh, I painted that on the wrong layer. That was stupid. Let me make sure that's not happening because I think that's actually a pretty bad mistake. Okay, Photoshop is done. It's done. Man. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, I need to check out this file. Store capsule main. Go into Perforce. And I'm going to go into marketing. Concepts. Yeah, Photoshop just stops working. The hotkeys just randomly stop working a lot. Okay, store capsule main. PSD. Check that out. I'll do like, I'll grab the small one too. We're going to have to do the vertical one as well, I suspect. And we're going to be overwriting that PNG. Okay. So I don't know how to get Photoshop back. Because I can't work without hotkeys. I can't do it. It's very annoying though, because like Now I have to close Photoshop down. It's so frustrating. Like, it happens all the time. I have all these things open that I want. Whatever. What can you do? Okay. Do I want to save this? I guess. Okay. And then let's get store capsule main. Just trying to find it over here. Here it is. Okay. There we are. Oh, right. I just wanted to make sure that all this painting work we did, I'm just going to copy it out, because I accidentally put it on the tree layer. And I'm just going to delete it off the tree layer, and then I'm just going to merge it in with this layer down here. That's better. Okay. Then the other thing I just want to do is I just want to take these trees. I'll make sure we've got slightly higher tolerance. I guess 10 really is the Goldilocks tolerance. Oh no, never mind. 6. Okay. 7, 8. Try that. 9. Okay, we'll grab all these trees. And we're just gonna Control J them and then just sort of darken them down a tiny bit so they're not so distracting from the text. Okay, we're good there. So collapse the art folder, got the background folder. Arts. I think there's some side, some darkening on the side. I don't think we really need anymore. There's definitely, we need to redo the same sort of work that we did on the other one where we got her to settle more in the environment. It feels like these mushrooms now that they're far enough away from everything, they can actually be more contrasty. They can sort of steal the show a little bit more. Let me get the mushrooms and just punch in some of that contrast. Oh yeah, now they're showing up a lot more. Cool. Can probably put like more mushrooms down there. Okay, so let's put that same sort of treatment we did, where I just grab, sample the color, and I just get a big soft brush. I can find the brush. There we go. And just sort of paint. Just get her to settle a little bit more into the environment. Same thing with that frog. Try to get that bone to sit a little bit more. Okay. So that's like the extreme, and then we'll copy the, ooh, that's not good. got that line work that is not being taken into account. We cannot have that. We might just have to like blur the layer mask. A little bit. Let's try that. That didn't work. That didn't work at all. Man. Okay, I'll just get a soft white brush and just sort of try to make sure that line work is accounted for. Okay. There we go. Now we can just sort of knock it back a little bit more. Okay. Definitely a lot more sparse feeling. Oh yeah, we also really increased the opacity of the swirlies here, so I want to try to do that again. Oh my god, there's so much stuff. Like, I don't even know what this stuff is. Oh, just all kinds of different designs we tried there. All right, I'll keep them around. Hello, Cloudy Gaming asks about the release dates. How do you guys decide a pricing for this? Pricing is hard. As far as the release date, we have not announced a release date yet. And as far as pricing, yeah, pricing is really hard. I mean, we do have a reference point. We have a game called Eastshade. Let's see if the MooBot knows anything about Eastshade. Doesn't look like anything is going on with that. Well, if you want to check out our game Eastshade, you can just Google it. But that game was $25, and it did quite well. It was kind of like a mid-tier hit on Steam. And so we have some pricing reference for it. Now this game is twice as long as Eastshade, but we don't want to. We're thinking $25, maybe $30, but that's where we're at right now. But it is really hard to decide on pricing. It feels like now with this new format, there's just so much more space down there that it feels like we can go a lot more contrasty with all of this stuff. What was I doing though? I was doing something. Oh, right. I wanted to increase the opacity of those swirls. So first of all, let's get the sparkles. Just make sure that they're completely as bright as they can be. And I'm just going to Control J them. Oops. All right, I guess that's as bright as we can get them. Here's the swirls. I just want to increase the opacity of that to maybe like 40%. And then over here, I want to increase this opacity a lot. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Alsen says, I'm wondering about what rabbit holes game devs find themselves in when needing to research something to put in the game. Have you ever had moments where you're just like, how did I get here? Sure, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I might be like building a boat and I might be like, what kind of boat do we need? Like, there's a little boat that takes you, as you know, there's a boat that takes you to the dock at the beginning of the game. And I could just be like, what kind of boat should go here? What kind of ferry boats would they have used? And then I go on this goose hunt of like different kinds of ships and different kinds of ships that would be used as ferries in different parts of the world, in, you know, Eastern Europe or whatever. And then I get interested in it, and before you know it, I'm 17 Wikipedia pages deep and I'm learning about ancient Xebecs of of the whatever empire or something. So stuff like that for sure. Gems Yago, hello, welcome. Are you working on the main thumbnails for Steam? Yes, I'm giving them a little lick of paint. They're quite old, and I think we can do a lot better. And I had the idea to add this like tree line. It used to just be blue back there, and I think it just adds a lot more polish. So working on integrating that. Cloudy Gaming says maybe you should be practical as per today's criteria because pricing has changed. Some games lowered overall prices for games. What do you think? Wishlisted your game. Thank you for the wish list. Some games have lowered their overall prices. I don't know about that. I don't think that's actually true. I think generally inflation has been increasing the prices of everything. Certainly AAA has been increasing their prices. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, we want people to feel like there's good value there. But we also don't necessarily want to devalue our game. Like if we priced it like $15 or $10, there are a lot of people who would think, well, this game can't possibly be that epic. It can't possibly be that big. It can't possibly be that polished. It can't possibly be that close to like a AA title. And of course, we feel like we have a AA title. We've spent $1 million making the game. We've spent over 6 years in development. It's a massive game. It's over 30 hours. All the content is hand authored. There's tons of quests. This will be fully voiced. So we don't want to give people the impression that it's not that kind of game, because it is. It's freaking epic. The game is epic. So we want people to feel like that. And of course, if there's enough excitement for the game, you can get away with those prices. Slightly higher prices. I think we might be able to get away with $35 US dollars, but I think pricing it at that is pretty low percentage chance for us. Exactly how I had imagined it'd go. Oh yeah, for the the rabbit holes for sure. Sandy Sensei, hello and welcome to the chat. Demziago says, I do like the added depth actually for this thumbnail. Glad you dig it. Okay, so I mentioned that with the new space we have at the bottom, I just think we can add more contrast to some of these background elements, make them a little, just make them pop a little bit more. So like I'm gonna sort of darken some of these dead shrubs down here. Oh, this shrub actually can be darkened as well. Let's see. The shrub behind the frog, I think for this format, just sort of. Nope, don't touch it. Okay. So I'll try darkening. This bush down here. Let me try. Yeah. I'm going to take this entire bush, the bush and the shrub, and just lower it in the composition. I'm looking for this bush right here. Let me turn off all the top layers. It's going to be easier to work. There we go. Oops. Okay, we got one more layer. Vertical gradient. Let's just turn off the artwork. Oh, but it's so hard to tell what's going on now without the artwork. It's harder to understand. I think we need some more stuff going on. I know that sounds crazy, but we have enough resolution here that I think we need some like more mushrooms and stuff down here. That bush is a little bit too much. You're a little bit extra, buddy. Let's just. Oh. Careful work. Okay, let's get some mushrooms. Let's find some mushrooms. Everyone loves mushrooms. They're just so enchanting. I don't know why they're so magical, but they are. Let me catch up with chat. Demziago says $30 to $35 doesn't seem too bad, to be honest, considering how much detail there is in the game. Yeah. Cloudy Gaming suggests base price of $30 and discounted. Definitely discounted. Yeah, it'll come out probably 10% off. And then we'll just do the normal discount things. You know, if people want to get it a lot cheaper, just wait a couple years. It'll be a lot cheaper. But if someone really wants to play it and they want to support us and they just can't wait to play it, then hopefully they'll buy it, you know, like 10% off or something. Sanorama, hello and welcome. Thank you for the kind words. I was addicted to Mirthwood, which has similar visual style. Yeah, Mirthwood does. They do have that pop-up 2D sort of look. It's kind of rare. Gemsiago said, definitely buy without the discount. All right, rock on. Thanks, Gemsiago. So hopefully regional pricing is accounted for. Yeah, when you put a price in Steam, there's a little regional pricing suggestion thing, and you click on that, and it gives like hundreds of countries, and it turns the price into what would be reasonable for those countries. And I do not mess with that. I do not pretend to know better than Valve, you know, what people in Turkey are willing to pay for a game. So I usually just put in the American USD price. It's the price I know and I'm familiar with. And then I just click the button and I just let it handle all the regional pricing. Because yeah, the price needs to be different. Obviously the buying power is different. 25 USD in India is, you know, like maybe like a day of wages or something. Whereas here it's more like an hour of wages. Okay. So I just want to find a nice mushroom. Let's go into the dark forest and see if we can get some beautiful mushrooms. Dark forest. Prefab. Oh, we could maybe get away with... Nah, that's too much. That's too much. Keep it simple. Come on, keep it simple. You can just... Sometimes less is more. Let me get some of them mushrooms right here. These are what I want. These fellas. Okay. I'm just going to crack open our... Look at that. Just 2 little mushrooms. That's all it is. Get in here. Get in here, you guys. Little fellas. Oh, look at that. They're white and they look good. Let's put them kind of higher up here. Let's make them separate layers. They're a little bit small. Are they? I don't know. Oops. Okay, so we need to turn off the artwork. Wow. They look really cool. I didn't even change the size or anything. Let's make some little ones. Make them a little shorter and then move them behind. Just something a little more, you know, contrast, a little more visual detail here. Let me just soften where the bottom where it meets the ground, just a hair. That's neat. That's wicked. Logo text working. I don't think we need that anymore. I think we can maybe delete that. Group and contents, save. Okay, so the mushrooms are actually a little bit small. Just gonna scale them up a little, just because they're supposed to be like super foreground elements. Oh my gosh, I am just smitten with those. They're great because we don't really have any light things, and they just add a lot of visual interest. And I would have never thought to create a light value item, but these are pulling some serious weight here. And they totally work. I don't think they'd work in the smaller capsule, but they work in this. Fairly confident about that. Make them a little bigger, a little wider here. Get these little fellas, just move them a little bit more over here, and I'm sort of pointing out like that. Cool. Okay. Oh, I like them. I really like them. Oh yeah, that's really sweet. We could probably add a ton of them. These mushrooms, I think, even more contrast. Let's pump it up. Pump it up. Now that we have those other white mushrooms. I also think we could get away with adding a little bit more color into them, like making them more brown like they're actually supposed to be. That's cool. And we actually have another variant of these kinds of mushrooms. Let's go find them. I think they're over here. Jacqueline drew 2. Yes, my people. My people. Come on in here, little corrupt fellas. Oops, not here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Where'd you go? Yeah, they are. Okay. Call this mushrooms. Santarama asks, will there be early access release? No, we're not going to do early access. We're just going to beta test the crap out of it, make a great game, finish the game, make it be done. We want people who are most passionate about the game, who are going to buy the game on day one. We want those folks to have a good game, complete. I think early access works better for really like much more systemic games that aren't so much story based, and this game has a lot of story in it, so okay, let's maybe add these other mushrooms. I'm going to turn off the art layer and move them behind the white mushrooms. And then, of course, I'll just sort of make them fade into the ground and add a little bit of that blue that the other mushrooms have. Take out some of that red. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll just slurp out some of the saturation here. Add a little bit more of that blue. Still not a color match. They look a little bit green. Slurp out a little bit more saturation. Slurp out some of that green. There we go. Now we're starting to get there. A little bit more blue. Cool. Maybe make them a little smaller. That might be too many mushrooms. I might have overdone it. I might have gone too far. Wait a minute. Where's our color layer? Uh-oh. Did I accidentally delete it? I might have accidentally deleted it. I've gone too far with these new mushrooms. Yeah, it looks better without it. Oh my gosh, I might have to undo a bunch though, because there it is. Okay. Ooh, that was close. Okay. I'll put the color layer on top just so we don't lose track of it. Okay. Maybe right here is a little bit empty. I just couldn't be happier with how that's coming out. Okay, let's open our other PSD file, the header variant. What do we got here? Open recent free idea. Oh man. Now I wonder if we have to move those little white mushrooms into this version. Nah. That would be too much. It'd be too busy. Cool. Okay, we knocked that dead. I think maybe just a few more shrubs back here to sort of fill out that area just a little bit more. I'll make the shrubs smaller. Rotate it a little. Actually, if I flip it, that would probably be good. Flip it. Just feel like that area is just a little bit empty. And I'll reduce the opacity. No, there's too much like copycatting going on. Seeing like the same shapes. Maybe what we need is one of these dead shrubs like this fella right here. Something like that. This fills up the space a little bit. Let's find another shrub. Something like this. Copy that one, move it over. Yeah, I think that works. I'm actually going to put another one over here. I just want to maybe rotate it so it doesn't look like it's being copied. Scale it down a little bit. That's nice. This bush right here is kind of distracting me. Should be pretty high. There it is. Maybe I just knock it back a touch. I'm gonna give it a save. Oh my gosh, I think we're there. Woo-wee. That's definitely pretty cool. Maybe the mushrooms are too powerful, these ones down here. We didn't even touch them. We didn't do a single value adjustment to them. Maybe we could just reduce their opacity just a tiny bit. Oops, that's the wrong mushroom. These ones. Or maybe they need to be glowing. Maybe they should be even brighter. Probably not. I'll just try maybe experimenting with one, make it more like a glowing thing. I'll turn this hardness way down and we'll just go really saturated, sort of bright blue. No, that's not working. Okay, let's have a chat here. Denomin says, as soon as you need the support, early access is a goer for me. All right, appreciate that, Denomin. Hatre, hello and welcome, says, Have you ever tried switching to other design apps? I even know people who still design websites in Adobe, Photoshop, and AI. Adobe is too slow for me, even on high-end PCs. Yeah, Adobe's applications are extremely bloated. Definitely not proud of the fact that I use Photoshop, but I don't know, man. I've been using it for so many years, and I've tried some of the other ones, and I tried some of the other ones a long time ago, though. I bet if I tried them again now, I would be fine. But it just feels so stupid to have to learn something new. I'm happy to learn something new, like for some reason I'm having an easier time learning like 3D apps and stuff. Definitely would be no problem to learn a new game engine, but learning a new image manipulation app for some reason just feels really boring and like a waste of time. Can't explain it. Feels like I should be doing something else. Trying to figure out if I should keep those little tiny fellas. Maybe, but just reduce their opacity. Okay. I think I love it. I just want to see it in Steam. Shouldn't be too hard. I'm gonna go for the upload. So it wants a 1232. Can always change it. Downsampling to 1232. Oh, this is the wrong one, actually. Let's keep that. Okay. But with the big one. This one should be 1232. Image size, 1232. This will take quite some time. It should be 1232 by 706. Perfect. These fonts are missing in this text layer. The layer may look fuzzy or pixelated if you transform it without this font, or you can replace this font. I'll try to transform it. Didn't seem to make anything fuzzy. I will export. Should be capsule main. Okay. Replaced it, Control S. And now I'll just grab that. Okay, now I've got to drop my images here, capsule main. Does it look better? Is it crazier? I think it's better. I think. Anyhow, okay, now let's do the other one. I undid my change there. And this one, next one, looking at the resolution here. Uh, 460, we want 920 by 430. So let's go image 920. Oh yeah, this is a really small capsule. It would be bad to put those little white mushrooms in. Store capsule header. Store capsule header. Oh, I need to check this file out. Store capsule header. Okay. Okay, let's find our store capsule header. Here we go. Header capsule, main capsule. Let's see, what else do we have? Now we have the small capsule. And we have the vertical capsule. The vertical capsule will require a big rearrangement, but the small capsule, hopefully we can just sort of make it from the header. Let's take a look at the header. I'm going to save this as capsule small tree idea. And then it needs to be a 462 by 174. So we'll just go 462. Okay, so we're just losing some height basically. Now we need to make it 174 tall. So 462 by 174. Just don't delete cropped pixels. Wait, is it gonna let me go bigger here? Yeah, there we go. Let's try that. Okay, about works. Seems like we just need some of these assets to be moved over. We got some color adjustments. Oh yeah, all that seems to work. Okay, a lot of stuff on the art layer needs to be wider. Seems like, yeah, it actually seems like the text in general should be bigger, which what I should have done was given us way more resolution to work with. I'm going to go back in time before we cropped it, and I will put in our dimensions 462 by 174. Let's make sure to not delete cropped pixels. Okay, and now we can keep our text quite large. And we're just going to make our girl smaller here. So I'll leave stuff design. I'll delete all this stuff. And let's just think this is about everything. No, we've got our sparkles and our tendrils. Let's just shrink her a little bit. Easy cheesy. Put her really in the corner there, give our title lots of room to work. And now let's grab our title and our emblem and just, oof. Oh, I actually think I get rid of the emblem, yeah. Here we go. Let's make our title nice and big. Big as we possibly can. Without actually colliding with our avatar. That seems okay. Okay, and I don't know, we've got some black bars that maybe we should fix. Catch up with chat. Atre says, is there any chance of finding out whether the game will be released this year or next year? I can't answer that. Oh, like this year? No, this year. It's not coming out this year. Let's see. Rahara Starbane, welcome. What inspired you to make a fully bardic magic system for this world, for the game? I think Jacqueline, she came up with a pitch for this game, and when she pitched this game to me, I think it was 2016. There was no good like magic school game in existence. Now there's tons, but there was none in existence. This is before Witchbrook even was announced, and obviously 1,000 years before Hogwarts. Hogwarts Legacy, anybody knew about that? And so just the idea of a magic school game that had farming sim elements already felt very novel when she came up with the idea of the game. And then slowly we just saw more and more farming sim, magic school adjacent sort of games come out. And Jacqueline just wanted to come up with something that distinguished the game a little bit, made it a little bit different. So that's when she came up with the music idea, and I think it works pretty well because you get to do a rhythm game, and rhythm games are just kind of fun. They're just fun, so it's a good mini game. Okay. Right, so I was trying to figure out if I should take these black bars, got the vertical bars here, and just squash them down. Oh, I can't even see them. Vertical bar gradients. Oh, these ones are like go on the sides. That's why we're not doing anything. These are the ones we need to mess with. Here we go. Okay, those are the vertical ones. Yeah, that looks better. We'll keep that. Okay, save that. Image size. That is huge. It doesn't need to be that big. Maybe we'll keep it like that just so we have good source. But now we need to export that. So let's bring up our Steam page, and we've got, it's a 462 by 174. So let's go image size 462. I wish we could get it sharper. Let's try a different sizing algorithm. There's best for reduction. Oops, image size 462. That's 432, 462. Well, I don't know if it looks sharper. Hard to tell. Let's export. Quick export as PNG. Capsule small. And then we'll undo that scale and save it. And then I will add the capsule small. Okay, and then finally we have the vertical capsule, which is 748 by 896. So let's take a look at our vertical. So here's a poster. The poster looks glorious. I'm tempted to not do any. I just feel like the poster, for whatever reason, looks a lot better. It always has. But let's take a look at our vertical capsule. Let's see if we can just drop our background in. We have obviously a lot more going on in our main capsule. So I'll just grab the entire kit and caboodle here. Put it in our capsule vertical. Great. It's nice to actually have plenty of resolution to work with. These trees are not tall enough, but I knew that that was going to be the case. And I just want to make sure that the bottom is on the bottom. Other than that, we can sort of decide what we want to do here. I think we can tolerate moving this way up so that the trees are kind of behind her. And then we can take everything that's in the foreground and just move it down. What happened to our title? Oh, I put all this stuff wrong. So let me put all this stuff below. There we go. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this doesn't really work. We don't have any space at the bottom. We would definitely want to get rid of like basically all of our foreground elements, at the very least those mushrooms. Could put some bush elements. This would certainly need to be extended. That's easy. Yeah, maybe it works. Let's experiment with. Seems like the tree line is okay. I think we accidentally deleted some bushes here that we maybe wanted to keep. We definitely need to move this title backers, not in the right spot. Let's put that down here. And just sort of erase some of the top stuff. And I think we should be able to easily extend that top part. It still looks like the tree line is a little bit too close to her. So maybe just try moving these trees up. And then we'll just take everything about those oops. We need to keep our trees together. Everything covering the baseline, the base of those trees. All these shrubs and stuff. Here we're getting to the foreground shrubs. I think about maybe to here. Here we go. Okay. And we just want to move all those up to cover up the base. Now that looks better. I think it can work. Okay, we definitely want the music things, I think, at the top here. I don't think we need those anymore. And of course, we can just take our tree line. We could probably just stretch it. I mean, that's not the end of the world. Should have a lot of resolution to work with. I want to find out what bush this is. There we go. Sort of move it up. Maybe make it a little bit more opaque. Then let's figure out what's going on over here. You might just erase some of this stuff, make it a little bit more subtle, blend it in a little bit more. Where's this? This bush is now too bright. I'm going to make it darker. And maybe I'll just erase the bottom. I just don't want it to draw too much attention to itself. That looks pretty cool. Let's grab that title backer. Well, let me catch up here. Oh yeah, lots of stuff in the chat. Rahara says, oh, thank you for the no early access stance. I remember when games didn't have early access at all, and that if people were playing them before the game was fully complete, they were paid game testers. I know, right? It's tough. Early access makes a lot of sense for some games. It's like, we don't want to call the game done, but we want to open the floodgates here and let everybody play them. It basically is an evolution of the open beta, right? Like, it's just an open beta, but you want to be able to sell the game because effectively people are buying the game because people are playing the open beta, but they're customers. They want the game, but you want to be able to keep developing it and you want to keep being able to call it a beta. So that's, I think, how early access started. But now it's become this button that I think a lot of devs push when they run out of money. They're just running out of money and they know they need to keep working on the game, but they want to get some money. So they want to capitalize a little bit on whatever fan base they've managed to build. And so it's very hard to resist pushing the button that is like money now. The money now button is very hard to resist pushing. And I think that that's why a lot of games end up going to early access that absolutely have no business going to early access. They shouldn't be. It's not the right kind of game for it. And yeah, I think it kind of can ruin their launch as well. Patre says, I've always wondered what it's like to work on graphics when there are several designers working on an artistic style. Is the style created at the beginning by one person and the rest adapt to it or not? It depends on the game. Definitely depends on the game. In AAA, you usually have an art director, and AAA games tend to be a lot more realistic, so it's honestly way easier to keep a style coherent when that style is reality. Make it as realistic as possible. You know, here's a picture of a dumpster. But for something like this, it was really easy just because Jacqueline is our artist. That's it. We only have 3 people on this team. It's me, it's one programmer, Jenny, and it's my wife, Jacqueline. And she is the art director and she's the creative designer and lead designer. And, you know, she draws absolutely everything that's in this game. And right now, you know, I'm doing some art adjacent work. I'm making marketing key art, but, you know, I'm using all of her assets. I'm just ripping, you know, illustrations that she's done and I'm collaging them into this Photoshop. So, you know, it looks like her stuff, obviously, because she did the lines, she did the shapes and all that stuff. Cloudy Gaming looks so beautiful in vertical. I'm so glad you like it in vertical. Atre says, I think that title is not centered. I know, it looks kind of like it's leaning to the right, doesn't it? Move this title backer down a little bit. And then let's maybe try to find that text. I think for this one, we want the foreground corner. We want another one on the right side. I just think it's going to balance this composition out a lot better. And we've got one little cactus thing here. There. Want it to actually connect to the bottom. Just move that off to the side, something like that. I think it works. I think it looks pretty good. We've got some stuff that doesn't really work anymore. Like I can see one of these dead shrubs in here. Is like this one. That one's not going to work. Can maybe move it down here. But honestly, I think it's just kind of distracting. Probably nothing should be in that area. I think we can, I don't know. Looks like the glow the title backer is like too high still, right? And lower it a little bit. And lower it even more. Looks like we maybe should add a little bit. I don't know how to get the color that we want. Maybe I'll just turn off all the art. Yeah, we definitely have this like line in there. And we have all this stuff on the top that we just don't need. There we go. Okay, and now we can sort of reduce that glow a little bit. Do we like it? Do we just like it clean? No, I want to leave some of the detail back there. That's what it looks like with no backer. That's, I think, a little bit fighting too much for attention. Catch up with chat. Rahara says, might take an old fuddy-duddy, but I'm old enough to remember that point in time where it was, if you're playing a game, it went through development and got released. I know, and then in the days of cartridges and, well, not even cartridges, even DVDs, you know, when people didn't have fast internet, you know, you would ship a game and it would be done. The DVD, you might not even get a single patch. You know, patching is a relatively new thing. It would be so scary to ship a game without being able to update it. Like, I can't even imagine. I cannot imagine it. Just being like, when we go gold, that's it. You can never, ever touch this game ever again. I think it would be like, once you ship the game, you would just party and you would feel amazing and it would be done. And you wouldn't have 1,000 people screaming in your ears, lazy dev, push, you know, fix this, fix that, fix this. And then if you ever do dare to stop pushing updates, then they scream abandon game at you. It would be awesome to just actually finish the game. But also a lot of pressure, because if you do find a terrible bug, I don't know what you would even do about that. It's completely insane. I can't even imagine it. DB Rob says, do you guys feel that you overscoped the game? Maybe is just cheaper for devs to go early access. Oh, this is a Hatre. Then test the game for half a year and pay testers. And of course the label early access explain their mistakes and shortcomings. I mean, it's not that hard to get testers. Like, let me rephrase that. If you have a strong fan base or even a medium fan base, it's not that hard to get testers to play your game. You can pretty much get, I mean, if we wanted to, we could get literally hundreds of beta testers. And, you know, we'd have to manage it all and stuff, but, you know, you can get a lot of feedback. Then again, nothing really compares to opening up the true floodgates and having thousands of people play your game. But yeah, it also kind of hurts your launch. So it just doesn't do you any favors. It really hurts your overall long-term sales curve to go early access, you know, when your game is in rough shape. It's tough. Our DB Robs asks, do we think we overscoped? I don't know. I mean, I'll know after we ship. But right now, you know, I mean, we'll finish the game. So, you know, we'll get there. And I think that people like big games. Like, I like big games. Steam likes big games. You know, people just want to dig into something, and they want to get in, you know, get tucked into it and get stuck in it for a long time. And there's something really magical about games with a big scope, right? Like, when you when you feel the size of the game and how much there is to do and everything, it makes all the content better somehow. Even, you know, you isolate one piece of content, that piece of content in a huge game might be more fun than that same piece of content in a small game. I'm thinking like a game like Elder Scrolls, you know, it gets away with some jankier feeling stuff, some more unpolished things. I think because the scope of the game is so remarkable, when you do find like a cool little quest, it just feels that much better because it's in the context of this massive world. So I don't know. We want to make a massive game. So now if we ship the game and it doesn't do well, then of course I'll feel like we overscoped, that we spent so much money and so many years making the game, you know. But if it does well, like it looks like it's going to, I mean, we have really good wish list metrics and everything, then I'll feel like, you know, we did everything right. Yeah, 9 discs. I know, that was crazy, right? Beliar, hello, welcome, says PC did have patches in the 90s. There's why some devs that released for PC and console did PC first, right? Yeah. I mean, we've got shareware games that were like the original, some of the earliest games we have. But on the consoles, when you ship that DVD, a lot of people at the time, their consoles didn't have internet, so scary stuff. Okay, so now I'm gonna check what size we want for the vertical. And I'm just comparing the vertical capsules. I think the vertical capsule just always looked kind of good, and it still looks good. So we haven't made it worse. But it's just kind of consistent now with the other ones. So I'll go ahead and go with that one. So image size, and it's going to be 748. 748 by 896. Okay. And I will export. We'll take that vertical capsule. I'll call it number 2, just so we can keep the old one. And I'll undo that resizing and I'll save it. And let's, oh, you know, one thing I probably want to do is make the magic way stronger back there. Right, no hard drive, that's true as well. Let me just find those swirlies. Here are the swirlies. Make sure the sparkles are as bright as they can be. And then the swirlies. Looking good. I think, anyway. Go to save. I still feel like this glow feels almost, it's not quite lined up, but whatever. I can't spend forever on this. I'm gonna save it and export. Oh, we need image size. And we need to remember what on here. It's 748 by 896. And we'll go with the vertical 2. Yeah, it looks better. Even in the little read, it looks nice. I like it. The poster, though, I don't know if the poster already looks so slick. So here are our 2. There's our new one. There's our old one. The new one looks better. The new one actually looks significantly better. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. Okay, so I'm just looking at some stuff over here. Graphical asset rules. Before continuing, please confirm that your images adhere to the required standards. If you submit for review and these requirements are not met, Steam's review team will fail your review and you will need to correct them. Okay. I can confirm that the capsule contains an a legible logo. It should be at least a third of the image. I can confirm that this capsule contains no additional text aside from the game's logo. Okay, and it just asks that for every single one. Confirm and upload. And I guess Valve actually has to approve of these, which is a shame because I was so excited to see it in the store. Man, maybe we can look at the beta version of the Steam page and it'll show the new assets. Just gonna head over to the hub. Sorry, I'm doing this on the other monitor, everybody. View in beta mode. Yes, okay. And I'll also view the store page. Okay, yeah, we can see the new assets. At least one of them. Here we go. So there it is. Does it look better? I don't know. It's hard to say. But we did it. Maybe I do want those white mushrooms. I don't know. Oh. Anyhow, we'll see. Okay. I'm going to call that done now. Maybe I should check it in. Perforce. Ketchup. Rahara says, I realize that some questions there aren't going to be answers to because of proprietary information and such, but has replay value been factored into how the game is? We don't really make our games to be replayed. But we have nonetheless found that people like to replay Eastshade. I mean, that game, in my mind, doesn't have any of the things that you would typically think make a game replayable. Yet we have players who've spent, over 100 hours there. I personally don't like quests with heavily branching narratives. Like the whole choices matter genre. I understand why people like it. I hate it. I just want the best outcome, and I want to do that. And I hate how you can't tell what the outcome's going to be. It's like completely random. Like, oh, you chose blue instead of red. Well, 4 hours from now, this person's going to die because of that. Ooh, won't that be so cool? To me, it's like, no, it's not cool, because I had no way of knowing that choice was going to result in that outcome, and I don't like that outcome. For me, I just like give me the best story that you can. I don't want you to have to write 17 different stories, because then I know that none of them are going to be that good, or maybe just a few of them are going to be good. Anyhow, that's my opinion. I found in Baldur's Gate 3, I had more fun when I looked up every single choice before I made it, because I wanted to know what was going to happen. Instead of just picking and then whatever random stupid thing happens will happen, and I might hate what happened. And then when I find out I could have made that not happen, it frustrates me. Anyhow, we also like to just make the best single playthrough we can. That's just the cut of our jib, but people replay our games anyway. I think if a game is good, it's just fun to replay. It's like a movie. Movies have 0% replay value. How can a movie possibly have a replay value? It's literally a canned experience. You have absolutely no agency whatsoever. Yet nonetheless, a good movie we like to watch a bunch of times. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Okay, so here we go with the... Oh. capsule work. Steam capsule work. I do think that this game is going to be more replayable than Eastshade. Just because it's bigger, it's more systemic. You know, there's the farming sim aspect, so. But when I think of a game that's designed to be replayable, I either think a purely systemic game, right? There's a spectrum. You've got narrative games on one side and you've got systemic games on the other. And the most replayable games are the ones that are 0% narrative, 100% systemic, like Minecraft. And then the other way you can make replayable games is, you know, either doing the immersive sim thing and having multiple ways to solve any particular quest. That I like. I do like that. But it's very hard because you have to make enough systems in the game that are actually fun to support, you know, accomplishing a particular quest in multiple ways. You also have to make every quest account for the different ways you can beat it. And sometimes you have run into the situation where beating it in one particular way is just not as fun as beating it in another particular way. But I do like that. There are a couple quests in Glimmerwick that have multiple ways to do them in a way, but it's not like a full-on, you know, Fallout RPG situation. And of course, you can also do the Baldur's Gate thing, where you know your choices matter and they result in different outcomes, which I hate. It's extremely expensive to do, and as a player, I don't like it. So I don't think we'd ever do that. But most people love it. I'm aware that most people love it. It's so funny that, you know, since we're indie, you know, we can only make games that we want to make. It's completely stupid to try to make a game that, you know, is not our cup of tea. That kind of defeats the purpose, right? We'll leave AAA to do that. But it also kind of infuriates people sometimes. Like, we'll have players that really want a particular thing, and we're like, but we hate it. We don't want to do that. So why would we do it? And they're like, no, you're wrong for not liking it. You should do it anyway because I like it. And look, all these other people like it. And it's like, yeah, I know. I know a lot of people like that, but at the end of the day, we got to do what we want to do. Otherwise, you know, our game will suck. It will. It'll suck because if you don't yourself, if the game is not to your taste perfectly, then, you know, all of your design decisions are going to be, you're going to be shooting in the dark because it's not going to be to your own taste. So, you know, it's very hard to express yourself honestly and make something, you know, that resonates with people if it doesn't even resonate with you. So now it's time to fix bugs. We did the capsule thing. I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back. All right. What's going on here? Oh, actually, there's one more thing I have to check. One moment, folks. Oh, okay. So Twitch is not alerting me when someone subscribes. There is absolutely no sound that comes out of my computer. It's very odd. I don't understand it. But actually, it seems that maybe none of the sounds have been happening. But I have some people to thank. Vedia1, I know it's unlikely you're still around. It's been 2 hours. I see the sub. I'm really sorry I didn't see that at the moment. I was absolutely oblivious. But thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And then a bunch of follows for any of these folks who are still around. Rahara, Starbane, thank you very much. And Finch and Fight, the Bionic Sonic, and Nasium, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it, folks. Yesterday, I also got a sub, so hopefully I'll see them again so I can thank them. I know it's probably very confusing when a Twitch streamer, when you give them a sub and they don't thank you for it. So I'm sorry about that. All right. So I'm going to put us into Fall Festival start settings. We did a bunch of pumpkin stuff yesterday, and I just want to make sure that all looks good before checking it in. Actually, there might be some other Fall Festival bugs we can take care of as well, but I'm just going to do a little sanity check real quick. Oh, of course. No, thank you guys for stopping by. I like streaming. Helps me focus. I'm pretty sure I get a lot more out of streaming than folks watching do. Those ghosts, they're cool. They need to stick around longer. So I'm going to try to see if I can make them stick around longer. So this gate, great. All this stuff, good. We put all this collision on here yesterday, and I just want to make sure I can't get behind this pumpkin. I cannot. Okay, and this looks pretty cool. And now we've got our mini game here. Actually put the mini game in there so you can see what's going on. And I don't know what we're going to put behind this guy, but I'm not crazy about what's going on there. The interior of that pumpkin. I think it would actually be better if it was a little cleaner, just kind of one color, but I don't know. I'm going to put it into night mode. It's okay. I think it's weird that there's that empty gap there. I'm going to fill that in with bushes. I'm gonna make sure that the color sort of matches here when I go to play the mini game. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Ah. Oh, got a 5. Nope. I want that 10. Another 5. Oh, yeah, I got the 10. Heck yeah. Okay, let's see what he says. Well, you are very mean, sir, because I didn't think that that was that bad. Yeah, I think I would like a cleaner background. I'm gonna go for the cleaner background on this pumpkin. I just don't love it. Thanks, Nana Iori. Appreciate it. Okay, so just exiting out of play mode here, and I'm gonna change that pumpkin background, and I've got some areas to fill in here with some of those bushes. I'm gonna see what other stuff we have on our Trello list. So actually, oh, there's something I should check here. I'm gonna be right back just in 1 second. Okay. So I'm just gonna scroll to the bottom of the Trello list here, where we've got some of our Fall Fest bugs. Oops. OBS over here. Okay, vendors, candy and snacks need to be in the pumpkin, so we're gonna work on that one. Different cauldron backgrounds, that one's kind of a tall order. But you know, it's not out of the question. We could probably whip that up. We should probably prioritize demo bugs. Okay, make the seeding by the singing trees active. I'm just looking for fall festival bugs. I think that's, for the most part, those are the ones I see. So the last thing is I just want that fall. I just want that pumpkin to have a more normal background. I don't quite like background, this one. Just gonna deactivate it. And we've got, and should have another background here. There we go, where we can turn on the mesh render. Let's see how that looks. Let's give that a save. And I want to see how well they match also, because it'll be kind of weird for those two pumpkins to have different backgrounds, but we'll give it a look. Okay, let's head to the Fall Fest. Oh yeah, I gotta look at those ghosts for sure. Not too bad. Maybe I can just make them match a little bit better. By maybe just reducing the saturation. No, it doesn't look as good. I don't know, maybe it's okay that they don't look quite the same. Let's push ourselves into nighttime. Yeah, I don't think it's too much of a problem. I do think the point light in this other pumpkin should be a little bit stronger. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So let's go back to the Fall Fest. And first of all, this sprite right here needs to be taller. Should be good. I'm going to make the collision a little bit wider here. And then I just noticed that the point light just not strong enough. Let's have it be like 1.3. And maybe a little bit more red. And this point light, I think maybe I won't worry about so much. Other than maybe just the radius should get a little bit bigger. Okay. Now the ghosts. Let's check out those ghosts. I don't actually know how to even find them. Here they all are, all the ghosts. Here, so they're all coming from down there. I just think maybe there's a setting I can have them stick around longer. Their max stage is 24. Ghost movements. Here's their speed, and then their max Y. So I'm pretty sure their max Y can just be increased, maybe? We could maybe make like a fall festival variant. No, then we gotta go replacing them. Gosh, there's actually a lot of ghosts here. Just gonna grab all the ghosts. And instead of their max Y being 25, I'll make their max Y 50. We'll see if they stick around longer. Go ahead and save that. Yeah, so for anyone new to the stream, The name of the game is Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. I just put a link there in the chat if you want to check out. What we're working on. And right now, I've just got a massive list of improvements, bug fixes, to basically a giant to-do list. I've got a little over 100 items, and I've been trying to do 5 a day. Because if I can do 5 a day, then I can get through them all in about a month or less. That would be lovely. All right, rock on. Rahara, thank you. Appreciate the support. The Restream has decided to make your name the same exact color as the background. Rahara, which is making it very hard for me to read it every time. Ah, whoops, I accidentally went into the school. Get out of there. Oh no, it's not your fault. Not your fault. Okay, here we go. Oh, can I walk through this horse? Why is it so laggy? That horse needs more collision. Shouldn't be able to walk through the horse that easily. Oh, right. I want to check the ghosties. Oh yeah, cool. So the ghosts look like they're fixed now. I'll wait till one cycles. Here it goes. So there's a ghost. I'm following it. Cool. I wonder if I can lower it to 40. Maybe it would just increase the frequency that we're seeing the ghosts. I wonder why it's so laggy like this. Probably don't need Photoshop open anymore. Oh no, actually Rahara, that did improve. That made it way easier for me to read it. I guess Restream does take the color. Thank you. Okay, so heading into the fall festival interior. Just don't want these ghosts. I suspect that they only cycle when they get to the top, so. $50, let's lower their max height to 40. Hopefully that'll be tall enough. Cool. And then let's just do a few other things while we're here. The horse collision. Open this prefab. We've got this plane, I think should be replaced. Just unnecessarily high poly. And it really should be, doesn't need to have a capsule collider on it. Oh, whoops. Carriage unicorn, yeah, unpack the prefab. Let's remove that capsule collider and let's add a box collider. And it doesn't quite need to be so tall. And it doesn't need to be quite so wide, but definitely wider than it was before. That will help. And then looking at the collision on this, just seems like it needs to be a little bit wider here. The player can't bump into it. And I reckon it can be a little bit more squashed in this direction as well. Okay, check out and save. Let me check. Now that Twitch doesn't alert me. Okay, cool. Doesn't alert me when a follow happens or anything. And I'm just going to fill in this area with some shrubs just because it looks really bad. Just all empty. Maybe I'll move this tree a little bit more in here. Should be better. Also seemed like I don't think the player can see this rock. Pretty sure the pumpkin's in the way, so maybe we can put this rock. I believe right here was one spot that looked like the player could run through. We got a couple more shrubs over here. Maybe we can fill out this area a little bit. Okay. Now, looking at this part, oh, Sarah's playing music. So that's something we should be able to fix real easy. Sarah also has the wrong plane here. And yeah, she probably has a drumming source. Yeah, let's delete that. Oops, come on now. Inactive. We'll save that. Thanks, Rahara. Yeah, it's Jacqueline's, my wife's style. What I really like about her style is that even though it's kind of cartoony, it's not overly colorful. It has like a nice muted palette, which sort of, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the super duper kitty look. At the beginning, she was worried about, she wanted, you know, there's lots of cute games out there. Everyone has really big heads, like kind of the chibi look. And she was worried that her game wouldn't be cute if she didn't make the super big heads. She didn't like the big heads, but she just thought that everyone else did. And I told her that you should definitely not do the big heads because that chibi kitty sort of look, you know, is not for everyone. And I'm really glad she didn't go with the big heads. I am wanting to go to my Trello. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. And I want to find Sarah as drum sounds. So that's done. That's easy. Easy cheesy. Zon's noticed that I'm in Unity 2019. And we would be in Unity 2018. We only updated a couple months ago. The only reason why we updated is because Unity stopped supporting consoles for 2018. The 2018 LTS no longer supports the console SDKs for Xbox and PlayStation and Switch. That is the only reason why we updated. And the lowest thing we could update to that still supported the SDKs was 2019, so that's why we did it. Well, typically when you're making a commercially, like a commercial game, usually the team doesn't upgrade. I mean, ideally you start on one version of the engine and you finish the game on that version of the engine. You really only update if there's a critical bug fix or there's a particular feature that really would help your game. But Unity hasn't really been working on core engine stuff, so it doesn't really help us at all. The new versions have absolutely nothing that we're interested in. So it would kind of just be a headache to upgrade, and it would break a bunch of things. And so we stick to 2019. Okay, so that's Sarah's drumming. Now the other thing that we had in our list is make the seating by the singing trees interactive. So there's a bunch of benches here. And I'm just trying to figure out like which bench. I mean, it would make sense that the player would sit toward the tree. At least this one they can sit like facing down. Sarah's right here. She really shouldn't be here. I think it would make more sense if she's kind of... I don't really know where she should be, honestly. Yeah, maybe here. I don't know. Zon says, interesting, so you don't keep the game in updated versions. No. Really, nobody does. I mean, if you're the more serious the project is, the less you update. How long have you been working on Witch Academy? We have been working on this game for 6 years. Well, kind of. We shipped our last game, Eastshade. We shipped that in 2019. Sort of a mid-tier hit. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's an open world adventure game where you play as a traveling artist. And I continued to work on Eastshade for about a year. Jacqueline, my wife, she immediately started working on Songs of Glimmerwick, the game we're working on now. And then in 2020, I moved on to Songs of Glimmerwick. And I think in 2022, we hired a full-time programmer. I think that was when we hired her. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go into our Bellion Moor, which is a location in the game. And I know that we are using this log bench, and I'm going to see if it happens to come with all that lovely markup. Oh, actually, it looks like this is a different log. Huh. Well, I guess I'll just... Whoa, Camp Seat 4. Okay, so these are all broken into pieces. I guess I will just copy this. Just, at least I'll have something to work from. Give that a copy. And then we'll go into the Fall Festival. Six years is a long time. How many hours of gameplay are you targeting? Well, the game is about 30 hours long. And we're close to the end. We have like 25 playable hours. You can actually play 25 hours. So I think it'll be 30 hours. It might be more. It might be more when someone else plays the game who's not, you know, Jacqueline, her last playtest took her like 21 hours, but she knows where everything is and she never gets stuck, obviously, because she played the game like a million times. So it might take someone else. It might take them like 35 hours. I'm not sure. Does wishlist work in YouTube? No, it does not. I can link the game though. One second, folks. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see, I can link the game, Songs Glimmerwick. I'll put it in the restream here. Zon says it's a commercial game. How long was Eastshade? Eastshade was, I'm going to say 15 hours, 14, 15 hours, something like that. Some people beat it really fast in 12. Some people beat it in like 20. Here, I'll link Eastshade as well, if anyone hasn't seen Eastshade. Eastshade is our last title. was a sort of a mid-tier hit, a mid-tier indie hit, at least. Most random people wouldn't consider it a hit. Most random people have never heard of a game that grossed less than, I would say, $100 million. Most games that you've heard of have grossed over $100 million. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and paste those bench seats. Juice TV, thank you. Appreciate that. Tall Turtle, hello and welcome. Oh, an overnight stream. Yeah, that's right. Took 25. All right, rock on. By the way, Tall Turtle, I was telling folks in the chat earlier in the stream that for whatever reason, Twitch is not making any noises for me when things happen. So I did not see your sub yesterday. Because I know it's very strange on Twitch to sub to someone and they don't react at all. But I just want to thank you for the sub. Really appreciate that. Sorry I didn't react. It's because Twitch is not making noises, so it's very hard for me to know what the heck is going on. I kind of just have to like check every 10 minutes. I don't know why it's not. Really weird. Appreciate that. Zons asked, how long does it take eShade to develop? I was working on eShade for 5 years, and my wife worked on it for about 3. And then we had a few contractors as well. But from the time I quit my job to the time the game shipped, it was 5 years. Rahara says, as someone that sometimes has visual over stim issues, I really appreciate the color choices. All right, rock on. Very calm and aesthetically pleasing. I'm glad you dig it. Hey, rock on. Thank you, Chimera. Appreciate the support. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so this is actually the same bench. So that's great because we should just be able to delete this bench. It doesn't have any of the markup. Yeah, this is totally the same bench. So you just delete, delete, delete. And now this is great. Camp seat. We just need to change this to like ochre, or like, we'll call this Fall Fest log seat. And I'll just copy that and I'll just paste. It just needs a unique name. And I'm pretty sure it would just work. Wouldn't that be something if it just worked? Let's make sure that these things are sort of right on the ground on the nav mesh there. And maybe it just wants like a, we'll just add a shadow there. Little shadow card. I'll copy this shadow. I'll click on this and I will just paste that in there. And I'll just stick it on the ground here. And I'll just go square. And just give it a little shadow. I find that these drop shadows really are very important for grounding the object in the world. It just doesn't really look like it's actually in the world until it has one of these shadows. Now it actually looks like it's sitting on the ground, which is good. That's what you want. Yeah, a lot of very colorful things nowadays. Especially the art style. You know, I'm so happy that there's so many like you know, non-combat games being made. But a lot of them go for that, like basically any game that is in the cozy scene. There's like a lot of people go for the like the very almost childish aesthetic. It's like, maybe we don't call it childish because maybe this is just people are growing up now and they still like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know, just kind of chibi and cutesy. And I hope when people see Glimmerwick, they're not reminded of that. I hope that it feels more like, um, just more like a fairy tale, more like a woodland fairy tale. I hope that people don't think like Animal Crossing or something. I don't like the look of that game. I don't like the look of that that entire art style. I think it's not my cup of tea. I understand a lot of people like it. It's not my cup of tea. So this bench, it would be lovely if people could sit on. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to pull it off. Let's go back to the belly and more. Visually simplistic. Yeah, maybe a little bit simplistic, but also just, I think it's just the big heads and the bright colors. And you know what it also is, especially in Animal Crossing, the game is constantly just kind of like crapping on its own world all the time. Like in Animal Crossing, you can like dress as an astronaut or like a medieval peasant, or you can dress in modern clothes, or you can just wear like a weird tiger suit, or you can decorate your house like it's the 1920s, or you can decorate your house like you're living in outer space. Like that kind of stuff is like, I get that that's fun and that's the kind of game that it is. And obviously, you know, Nintendo does an amazing job, that sort of thing. And people love it. And I'm glad it exists for them. But it's just not to my taste. That's all. It's not to my taste. And that's not to say that nobody should make games like that. Obviously, people should. I'm glad that there's enough gamers that we can all make different games. But I guess at Shade Studios, we're just very pretentious about our own game worlds. We like, you know, that they're things to fit together and be coherent. Like this is a real place. Glimmerwick is a real island. People really live there. There's a certain way that people dress. There's a certain way that they build buildings. They have certain industries and exports and things. And, you know, you're not going to find anyone in an astronaut suit there. Whereas, let me copy this entire log, by the way, before I go over into the Fall Fest. Interior. Whereas something like Animal Crossing is a lot more interested in player expression. And we're just really big assholes. We're just massive curmudgeons. We're not trying to optimize for player expression. We're trying to optimize for our own expression, like as artists, I guess. And that's why we'll never make money in this industry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad, Rahara, that you don't feel like it's too cutesy. You feel like it's rustic. I like that word. Zahn says, when you decided to build this and eShade, how did you go about planning the game? Oh man, so many things. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, first you got the high pitch, and then you sort of drill down and find your core loops, they're called, your core game loops. And then you build your auxiliary game loops that attach to those. And then you start doing your content design. You start writing quests and things. You start thinking about how the quests are going to work with the systems, what kind of rewards you're going to give for the quests, and how those rewards are going to help with the other parts of the systems. It's a long process. Woodland Adventure, I like that. Woodland Adventure is good. Paul Turtle says, I think the trailers do a good job of implying that it's not a cute kids game. Okay. That makes me happy to hear. I'm gonna paste our log and let's see if we can. So it is the same log. That's good. Jacqueline has scaled it down a little bit, which might cause us problems. I'm not sure. And I just want to make sure that we've got our interaction points on the ground. I'm going to delete the log that we have there already. And I guess I'm just going to try rotating the sit, the exit position. We can move it maybe in front And I really have no idea how this is going to work, or if it is even going to work. I don't know if these actually, I don't know if rotation matters, but I guess I'll just go ahead and add 180 degrees to each of these. So I'm just going to flip them just in case rotation matters. Clockwork for Sims, hello and welcome. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Having clothing that belongs feels immersive. Sometimes when games when games have strange outfits that don't belong, I can't even try them on my character. Yeah, definitely a lot of weird outfits. Yeah, it's a hard line to walk because you know, a lot of games are trying to let players express themselves. Let me find the seat. Oh man, this is kind of annoying. It is really annoying. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo everything I just did with the exit positions. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and redo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, we've got to rotate. We've got to rotate all of these things 180 degrees. So plus 180. Oh, whoops, that's the position. 0, 0, 0. And now we just need to make the render mesh. Okay, that completely broke everything. Actually, maybe not. Let's make the render mesh now. No, it has a weird pivot. Dang it. It's so frustrating. Okay, new plan. Got to take the render meshes, which have collision. Got to leave those in there. Got to take them out. Okay, so let's unpack these prefabs. Pack prefabs. Definitely need to give this a unique name, just like we did for the other bench. So go ahead and copy the Fallfest log. And I'll just append. Whoa. Let's unpack this entire prefab. Is it a prefab? Unpack prefab. We just need to append that name. First step, give these all unique names. First step of a 50-step plan here to get this bench working. And I'm actually not even sure if this is going to work. The problem is it's very hard to make things sittable in Songs of Glimmerwick where the player's facing north because because the game is full of, you know, it's a pop-up 2D game, right? So you've got a lot of like flat illustrations in a 3D world. Their butt has to cover the chair, but the NPCs are flat, right? So like check, she's completely flat. We can't make her butt poke out because she's literally a painting. She's a flat painting. So it's really hard to make their butt cover the chair. So it's hard to make it actually look like their butt is on the chair. They just sort of look like they're squatting down in front, but sometimes it works. So we just need to feel it out and see if it's going to work for us this time. Okay, so we've made their names correct. Now I'm gonna pop out all of their render meshes, and I'm going to rotate now each sit spot. Now I need to pop their render meshes back in. And now, okay, we do the last one. Oops. Stick their render mesh in. Okay. Now we just have to test it. We just have to test it and see what it's going to look like. I'll be right back, folks. Oh, okay. So let's go into the Winter Fest. Not Winter Fest, Fall Fest, Fall Fest. I'll go ahead and check my Twitch since it's not updating me anymore. Okay. Good, looks good. I'm just waiting. It takes a long time to start play mode right now. I can't believe how long it's taking. It's crazy. That's crazy. Still going. It's still going. I don't know why it's taking so long. It's probably going to crash. It really does not usually take this long. I don't know if it's going to come back from that. That's a really long time. We're just listening to the seagulls here. Oh my gosh, it actually came through. That took forever. Okay, but the whole game is super laggy. Oh. We have to look at this because this interaction is all messed up. Something about me expanding the collision on that is a problem. Why is it so laggy? I do want to check these ghosts, make sure they go high enough here. Yes, looks like they do. Very nice. It's completely horrible. Okay. The chairs work. Her feet are a little bit high, but I don't really care. Fine. That works great. And now these ones, which I expect won't... Not only did it not work, it just disappeared. Why did it disappear? Why on earth would it have disappeared? That's so random. Why would it have disappeared? Why would it have done that? Like, okay. There's one log. Here's the disappeared one. Oh. Oh, because it has a game bool activation. Why? Why does it have a game bool activation? Remove. Oh, okay. I remember why. I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. Okay. Very good. False alarm. No reason to be so upset. Okay. So she just kind of sits behind it, obviously. That is not going to work. So if I can get one of these things working, then that would be grand. I'll just grab one bench and I'll pop that render mesh out. It's so laggy, I'm like, it's hard to even work. I'll move it way forward. In fact, I might just be able to use it like that. I might not even have to, oh no, I do have to. Get a child here. Okay. And then I just need to make sure that this thing leads to the correct. There we go. It's not great, but maybe it's fine. I don't know. Like maybe I don't need to stress out about this. It looks like she's sitting on it. Whatever. Not that bad. It's really fine. Let me try it on this middle one. It's almost okay. It just needs to be a little bit more. I think it could just be pushed forward a little bit more. Just like that. Okay. I don't know why she like teleports sideways. I don't think that that's that bad. I'm not gonna go crazy over this. Let me go ahead and copy the transforms. Now what is really bad is the lag. I don't know why my computer is so incredibly laggy right now. Very strange. I have been streaming a long time. I don't know if something has been getting clogged up. It's actually pretty hard to work because it takes so long to get in and out of play mode, and then it's so cumbersome to test. Okay, let's check the Fall Festival interior. And I will just pop out our little bench here and then paste the transform. Now I don't know why this exit point maybe was a little too low in the ground or something, not really sure. I'll pop out all of the other benches as well, and I'll grab the other two on both ends and just move them all forward. I'll grab both of their exit positions and move them up. I'm hoping we can get rid of that little jolt pop that we had. I didn't like that. Very janky feeling. And now we just need to put each one back. Got the middle one. Oops, that's the wrong place. Put it back on the end, put the middle one back. Okay. And then it also has this activation component. We don't need that, just delete it. And we put all of this stuff inside of Camp Seat 6, which is stupid. Just a mistake. There we go. Just call that bench. Okay. I hope that is good. Now, we also had a couple. The guy who's standing there, he maybe should be somewhere else. Let's take a look at the schedule. Here we go. I think it's Carpenter, Baker, Hyla, Ivarus, Chris, Potion Professor, Aya, Findant 2, Antoine, New Guy, Amka, Third Guy, Fern, Dude, Indy, New Lady, Celia. How did I know I wouldn't find him? How did I know? These should really be alphabetical. That would make it easier for me. Rohija, Kavita, Baker, Hyla, Ivarus. Chris, Potion Prof, Aya, Findant 2, Nessa, Prof Clary. Antoine, New Guy, Amka, Third Guy. Fern, Dude, Mary, Indy. Acorn, New Lady, Celia. So how did he end up standing there? Is there some other schedule? Some other schedule going on? Fallfest competition, maybe? No, he's not in that schedule either. Take a look at Carpenter. There is definitely an NPC data called Carpenter. Nettleflap asks, is the candy seller mystery solved? Yes. The candy seller is this guy right here. He was not an NPC schedule. He's not an NPC. We've got two kinds of NPCs. We've got automatons, we call them, and we have fully navigable NPCs who can walk everywhere. And he was the former. And I just couldn't trace the references. It wasn't working, but Jacqueline just knew who it was. These pumpkins need shadows. Just add a little shadow to both sides. Do the same thing over here. It'll just help this whole thing look more grounded. Okay. Little side path there. I still can't find out how I still don't know where Carpenter is. I'll just type in Carpenter. He's not in here. Save. Well, he simply has to be in the Fall Fest schedule. I don't see how he wouldn't be. Acorn, Indy, Mary, Dude, Fern, Third Guy, New Guy, Antoine, Findant 2, Aya, Potion Prof, Chris, Ivarus, Isla. It's Baker? He's called Baker? Yes, he's called Baker. Oh boy, howdy. I'm gonna put him over here. Maybe like right here, and I'll put Sarah right here as well. Cool. Okay. Yeah, when you don't have the shadows underneath, it just, the illustration doesn't look like it's part of the world. It just looks like it's like on top. It just looks like collagey. It doesn't actually feel grounded. Very strange how much of a difference it makes. It's like if I was making an art course or an art YouTube video, I could literally with an honest face say, this one weird trick will make your whole game look 1,000,000 times better. And it's to put drop shadows underneath your props. Okay. I would love to test it one last time. I don't know if it's going to be all laggy. Oh, you know what? This bench, this needs a unique name. Pretty sure. A couple sit spots in here. Sit spot, Fall Fest. Blue bench. Just needs to have a unique name. These sit spots are weird. Okay, yeah, I would love to test. I'll try it. I hope it doesn't take a trillion years like it did last time. Gonna take a look at my capsules. See if they still look good to me. Kind of busy. What's going on here? It's not perfect. Like this weird little line right there, I don't like it. But this does look pretty cool. Like if you look closely at all this stuff, it looks pretty sweet. These trees, a little busy. Does it read as trees? Does everyone know that those are trees at first glance? It's different. It's interesting. I think it's better. I'm gonna go with that. Sure, they're trees. Okay, good. Verena, hello. Welcome to the chat. I just started watching the stream and saw someone asked if there's already a release date for the game. Was the question answered? We have not announced a release date, but I love it when people ask. The best question, right? But yeah, no release date yet. We have not announced one. But soon. We're getting there. We're getting there. Unfortunately, I can't just announce it. See, this is something people don't understand is the reason that developers don't want to announce their release dates. One, if you say a date that you think, if you give a time frame that you think you'll be done, people will take it as a promise. And then if you don't make it, then some people will be very upset. Not you, Verena, but other people will be upset and they'll say really mean things to us. But the more importantly, because obviously those mean people are just idiots, we don't really need to think of them too much. But more importantly, the press, because release date is such a hot piece of information. Like if people want to play the game, they're excited about it. They want to know when it's going to be available. The press knows that that's basically one of the most important or most interesting facts that they can write about. So when you announce your release date, if you do it with a bunch of hoopla and a new trailer, and you do a whole new trailer, release date announced trailer, and you put the release date at the end, and you do that whole thing, and you keep it all tucked away and secret, and then you send that as a press release to a bunch of influential people, then it's highly likely, if your game is popular enough, it's highly likely that one of them will be interested in breaking that news on the front page of their large site, such as like IGN or PC Gamer or something. So if you are open with your release date, then you kind of rob yourself of that extremely important beat. We call them beats, like a marketing beat or a campaign beat. And if you rob yourself of that beat, then you don't really get all that coverage, because people, it's kind of old hat, by the time you ask the media, they're like, oh, everyone already knows when your game is coming out. So we don't really feel like we need to cover that. So that's why we have to do it. Well, thank you for dropping by, Tall Turtle. And I hope you have a great day. So I'm just still waiting for the game to run up to open here. I really don't know why it's taking so long. It's very strange. I feel like I need to like exit out of the game and restart it or something. It's kind of insane. Verena, if you're still around, sorry, I went on a very long tangent about release dates. Very long and boring tangent. It's just because my computer is completely frozen right now. I can't do anything. So I might as well just like talk about nonsense, right? Let me check my Twitch. Okay, nothing has happened over there. Very weird how long it's taking. I should just say kill the game. Exit out of it. Nick Caston, hello and welcome back. Do you feel like media like IGN matters much these days, or is it more YouTubers and streamers? I have a very strong opinion that it's neither. I mean, YouTubers and streamers do matter more than traditional press media. Showcases are still pretty big for pushing wish lists and stuff, but I genuinely think that YouTubers and streamers and the media, they all follow gamers more than the other way around. So like you can, if you have a game that is really desirable, that people really want to play it as soon as they see it, they see it, they instantly are like, I want to play that. That looks awesome. The press and the YouTubers and the streamers, they are all just following what the masses already want. They're not making the masses want what they want. So like when a YouTuber covers a game, the most likely time a YouTuber is going to cover a game is when everyone is already playing it. And you start accumulating an audience before that YouTuber brings you the audience. This is something that frustrates me when I like read on r/gamedev and stuff on Reddit. People are like, well, you just need to get lucky and have a YouTuber cover your game. It's like, no, the YouTuber will cover your game once people are once there are tons of people playing your game, then the YouTuber will, be interested in the game because everyone is playing it. They're just a gamer like everyone else, and they kind of follow what the masses do. Now, of course, then the more, it's like snowballs, right? Like the masses will see the YouTuber, and then, you'll get more and more people finding out about your game. But it's definitely true that you can like ghost release a game on Steam. And if it's really, really desirable, like people really want it, it like blows people's minds when they see it, it's gonna go nuts. Like people are just gonna play it. I don't know why it's so laggy. It's making me insane. Let me catch up with chat. All right, rock on, Brennan. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate that. And thanks for watching the dev streams. Nick Caston says it's a bit of a bootstrapping problem. No, it's not a bootstrapping problem. I don't even think there's a problem, period. It works, man. The system works. Like Steam works. If your game looks amazing, you'll just convert at a high rate when people see your page. And then you'll go right into new and trending. And once you get into new and trending, like literally millions more people will see it. It will again convert at a high rate. You'll make a crap ton of money. You'll be at the top of charts and stuff, and other streamers will start to see your game. People start talking about your game, and everybody will dance for you. I don't think, gosh, it's still doing that weird little side shift. I don't know why it's doing that. Also, Baker has not moved, but I think I know why that is. I think we just need to recompile. Yeah, I hate that little jolt she does. It looks very janky. Maybe a nav mesh problem? I don't really know. I don't know what the... Let me put it this way, Nick Caston. If there like there's a lot of games on Steam with less than 10 reviews. If a really big streamer like Splattercat or something played one of those games, maybe in a couple weeks, it's not like that game would suddenly start making hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. That game, maybe next week it would have 20 reviews instead of 10 reviews, but it would still bomb. Like Splattercat cannot save a game that nobody wants. So that's why I say that like Splattercat plays the games that look, that look like he's interested in them. So it's really, it's just all about the game. It's so all about the game. It's not even funny. It's so much more all about the game than a lot of indies even realize. Like that's the dream, right? That it's all about the game. That's what that's what justice like but it really is like that. Okay, I don't know what kind of null reference exception we got here. Guess it's fine. Okay. It's so laggy, I can't stand it. I don't know why it's so laggy. Oh yeah, we need to fix this problem that we created. Let me just do that, and then I'll cross off a bunch of things. I think I'll call it a stream after that. I think that we want this carriage, the collision for this carriage, I think we can just make it short so that it doesn't get in the way of interacting with her. Actually, I have a video on YouTube called "Marketing is Not the Problem," and it's pretty popular. It has like 250 or 300,000 views or something. And it's basically about how, for the most part, games sort of fall in the place that you kind of think they will, just based on how good the game looks. That there's some sort of method to the madness. Like if a game looks kind of like okay, it'll make like 100, 200 grand or something. And it'll just fit in with all the other games that kind of look okay. That's the case for like 95% of games on Steam. It's kind of like evolution. Like you don't find a species in the fossil history outside of where biologists would expect it to be. It's like everything is in perfect order. That's kind of how Steam is. Like every game is like, that game made $1 million and it looks exactly like a game that should make $1 million. Just kind of how it ends up. Okay, she should be selectable now. These are highly controversial takes in the indie game community. Highly controversial indeed. Okay, so that's all that. Let's go ahead and make our check-in. Okay, check all that stuff in. And then I'll go to the Trello board. And this is done. Vendors. This is done. Different cauldron backgrounds is not done. But we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 5 bugs in 2 days. That's not great. I need to find some other ones to do. But I've got this cough and my voice is pretty tired. And it's not helping my cough at the moment. So I think I'm going to have to call it a stream. I want to thank everyone very much for hanging out with me. If you're new to the stream, I imagine probably don't have a lot of folks who don't know about this already. But if you haven't been to our Steam page, Songs of Glimmerwick, the Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music, that's the game we're working on right now. please head over to the Steam page. Please give it a wish list. That just means you get an email when the game comes out. So if the game looks interesting, you want to check it out when it releases, see if it's something you want to buy. Maybe you want to look at reviews or something first, obviously. But nonetheless, at least you won't miss the launch. And of course, it obviously helps us a lot. You know, if you throw us a wish list and potentially buy the game when it comes out, if it looks like your jam. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll catch some of y'all next time. Peace out.